I like to sometimes start my episodes by just being like, God, what do you want me to talk about today? And it's usually when I get the best episodes, in my very humble, biased opinion. And today, God was like, let's talk about how trauma, it's such a, it's like such a common, it's a popular word now, isn't it? But trauma gets in the way of relating with our partners. But I want to talk to the women that can see this in their relationships. Okay. They can see how their abandonment wounds get in the way, or how, I don't know, like I've worked with some clients that are like, you know what? He's so great. And yet I keep finding problems all the time. And I'm like, yep, been there, done that, to the point that I actually couldn't see how great my partner was, unfortunately. And I also support a lot of women like that too. And the reason I say if you are the former example is because maybe you are ready to go a little bit deeper with this. Oh yeah, I didn't know where we were going with this, and it's just coming out of my mouth hole quite effortlessly. I was gonna say efficiently. Maybe that too. So if you're that woman and you're like, yeah, he's so great. Like he's just helped me see myself in new ways, and he's just such a safe person. And yet he's still, I don't know, maybe doesn't feel completely safe. Maybe you're still minimizing yourself. You're still holding back, shrinking, not being in your fullest expression. I want to talk to you. So keep listening. Um, I am a lot. Okay. You may have noticed in this episode and the previous episode that I've got a lot of energy for these episodes. This is me. Like they're all me, all the versions of me are me. But when I am in like my power and I'm feeling alive and electric and I'm on day 3 of my bleed, so this is making sense. This is me. This is my favorite me. And she is a lot. She talks quick sometimes. She's got a lot of thoughts going in her head, and sometimes her mouth can't keep up. She's messy. She's wild. She's silly. She's playful. She makes a dick of herself. Man, I love going out with my kids and embarrassing them because I'm like, this is the whole point of this. Like, we're here, this life, we're here to have fun. Okay. So let's have some more fun. But the problem is that the trauma stops us from having more fun. The stable relationship feels scary. What do I do with this? It's unfamiliar. I don't deserve you. I'm not good enough. Is it ringing a bell yet? So, what can you do? First of all, work with me. That would probably be the best place to start. However, if you don't have the funds, you're resistant, you're just not there yet for whatever reason, I really hope that I can give you just a couple little things to look out for so that you can maybe start making changes. You need to understand that the way you make changes is by doing something different, thinking something different than you normally would. It's creating new habits, new behaviors that ideally can become subconscious or unconscious, rather, right? So, right now, your nervous system runs the show when you want, I mean, it runs the show generally, but like when you're in fight or flight, it is in the driver's seat. Okay. And it is got a hold of that steering wheel, and you are just reacting. You are behaving in a way that is probably really unconscious. You probably don't even have that awareness of like, here we go again. I'm really triggered. You're probably just like, that motherfucker. I'm going to fuck you up. I'm going to prove to you that you are wrong. I'm going to make you see me, but also don't see me because that's really scary. Because that's kind of what's going on inside of us usually. It's like we have this conflict of I want this, but that thing that I'm desiring actually doesn't feel good for my nervous system. So I'm just gonna sabotage it and stay in my little box of comfort. But that little box of comfort is not where you will experience and have the life, the relationship you are desiring. And it is my hope that you are here because you don't want just good enough. You don't want to keep replaying the same cycles over and over again because it's exhausting. And potentially you could completely fuck up something phenomenal with your partner. I almost certainly did myself. And if I hadn't have looked in the mirror and be like, Paige, you got some freaking work to do, girl, and done the hard work and worked with somebody to support me because I could, even we need help, us counselors, therapists, whatever, we need people to help us too because we have blind spots and we're only human, right? So I needed help. Once I had that, I changed my whole fucking life and in turn saved my relationship because I almost lost him. And I would have if I hadn't have changed and made new decisions, sat in my discomfort when he was pissed off at me because I was tend to fall into like your anxious attachment styles, usually, not always, okay? Because I'm not traditional. I could sometimes be avoidant, but generally I'd be anxious, and I'd want to chase after him and fix it. I'd want to fawn. I'm so sorry. It's all my fault. I don't care if you just, were an absolute asshole to me. It's fine. Don't leave me. That's basically what was going on for me. Until I sat with the discomfort of like, well, maybe he will leave me. That's really scary. Maybe he hates me. That's really scary, but I'm okay. And I soothe myself and I regulate my nervous system as much as I can and I reassure myself. Maybe I connect to my inner child and was like, hey, girl, you're okay. I love you. We're going to be fine. And I did that over and over and over again until I started to believe it. And that's not to say I'm never triggered by some things, but it's few and far between. And usually my partner has no idea about it. Whereas once upon a time, he always knew about it. I'll let him know. Okay? You've triggered me, boy. I'm in such a playful mood today. You triggered me. And you're going to know about it because you need to change. Not me. I don't want to look at myself in the mirror. No, thank you. If you just stop doing that, then we'll be happy. Okay? That'll fix all our problems. Just stop being you. And I won't have to, we'll always be happy and we'll never argue ever again. But that's not real, is it? And the whole point of this is to be real, authentic, take up space, not hold back. So if you are somebody who finds that you do hold back, you don't let crazy you out. And I don't mean crazy in like, oh my God, she's so hormonal and like she's a fucking psychopath and like that's not crazy. Crazy to me is just like wild, weird, wacky, Maybe you have a belief of like I'm dumb and he'll think I'm dumb. I've carried this a little bit in certain areas of life as well where I'm like I don't know enough about that and I don't want him to see that I don't know enough about it, so I'm just gonna like not do it or steer the conversation in a different direction or whatever it might be. I don't want him to perceive me as stupid. But the reality is that I don't know everything and like that's cool. In fact, I don't think I'm all that smart in many areas of life. Whether that's a fact or not is different, but that's something that I believe. So that's what I keep seeing and finding evidence of in my reality. And when we have these beliefs, whether it's that, whether it's I'm annoying, whether it's I'm too hormonal, I'm too much, I'm too sensitive, whatever it might be, we will try and ensure that we keep fulfilling that, making it true because it's become like a safety net for us. We know what to expect. But in order to change that, if that it feels unsafe to be the opposite, you start being the opposite and creating safety on the other side, realizing, hey, he's still here. He still loves me. I want to give you another example that is slightly different to like taking up space and not being afraid to show all of yourself, but something else that might resonate, that might be a problem for you is trusting your partner. Now, my ex cheated on me. I've talked about this before for almost 8 years, like on and off. And so getting into this relationship with a man that is really like stable, very, very loyal was really scary and destabilizing for me. Logically, I'm like, that's stupid. But logic's not running the show, is it? My nervous system is. My trauma is like, hey, girlfriend, he might fuck you over. That's scary. So instead of trusting him, I didn't trust him. And I would just focus on all the things that felt a bit sus or seemed a bit sus to me. Like his behavior with his phone, like my ex used to be, on like stupid stuff. Even though there was an insurmountable amount of evidence of the opposite, that he is loyal, he is trustworthy. But because I believed so fully that like every man lies and is disloyal, that's what I was looking for. And so I then had to very consciously start going, okay, I'm thinking he's being sus on his phone, but maybe it's this instead, like the positive potentiality. Or maybe it's this instead of, oh, it's definitely him cheating. He's trying to hide something from me. He's messaging a girl. And I had to do it very consciously. In fact, sometimes, if I'm honest with you, I still have to. I like it happened the other day and I was like, oh, why did he want me to like why did I have to put the phone down so quickly? That probably wasn't the exact situation, but it was kind of like that. And I was like, oh my God. And I was just about to get my period, so I was like extra sensitive. And I caught myself. But the thoughts had already begun. They were like, oh, he's cheating on me. Why did he do that? And then I was like, hang on. Don't ruin the damn day, because that's what I would do. I would just pull away and I would be the ice queen. Okay? I'd turn into ice queen Paige. And I would just be like, no, we're on the way to the beach with the family. Wouldn't have stopped me once upon a time. And I would have just been like, nah, that motherfucker's cheating on me. I'm convinced. Instead, I was like, hang on, nah. He's let me like look at his phone like 10 times since to change the song. Like this one time that he reacted the way he did had nothing to do with that. And I had to be like, yes, let that be enough, Paige. It is safe to choose trust. It is safe. You have been with him for like 5.5 years. Nothing's happened. What would be enough for you, Paige? If you can't trust him now, how many years would be enough for him to prove that he can be trustworthy? 10, 15, 20? It's the same when people are like, I just got to have a long-term relationship and I've started talking to a guy and it's only been 3 months since I left my ex but like how long's too long to get into a new relationship? How long's a piece of string? What feels right for you? Like it's just we just got these weird rules and conditions and like just to try and keep ourselves safe and not be perceived in a particular way and blah blah blah, and it's like, oh, enough's enough. It's time to be accountable. It's time to be more authentic. It's time to do something different. If nothing else, from my rambling from today's episode, I want you to take away you need to do something different than what you have been doing. Because the behaviors, the conditionings, the beliefs that have gotten you to this point, the habits, are not going to get you to where you want to be or who you want to be. That's just the way it is. So, what is it that you need to do that is different than what you have done thus far? So you can have that, be that. What is the opposite or just different? Maybe it's not the extreme, because we also got to be mindful of that pendulum swing. We don't really want a pendulum swing from one extreme to another. Sometimes it's part of the process, but we kind of want to just be like, all right, so for me, I will catastrophize and see all the reasons why he's cheating on me, but really he's not. Or I'll be like, oh, if he sees this part of me, he's going to think I'm stupid. But he doesn't think that. And also, even if he did, so what? Like, really? Is it the end of the world? At least I can put my hand on my heart and be like, you know what? But this is me. This is authentically me. And I need to be able to show up as me, more me, and realize that I am still loved by other people. More than anything, I can love myself as this version too. But we also need the evidence in the world around us that, hey, we are still lovable even in our wildness or whatever it is that you've been holding back. So take up space. Start doing the opposite or something different, something you wouldn't usually do. It needs to be something that probably feels a bit scary, a little bit stretchy, maybe a bit uncomfortable. But you can do hard things. Yeah. You can get comfortable being uncomfortable too. That's a thing. I promise. And expanding our capacity to be in discomfort will change our fucking lives. Will change your life, I promise you. Too many people live inside their box of comfort, and that's why they have these mediocre lives, relationships. It is in discomfort, in vulnerability. Being all of ourselves can feel vulnerable. It is inside of that, in that discomfort, that we grow, that we create like deep connections with others that are just beyond surface level. Hey, how you going? It's like, hey, how are you going? Cry on my shoulder. It's inside vulnerability that life just gets so much better. It's just temporarily uncomfortable. So that's it for today's episode. I hope you loved it. If you did, please give me some love, subscribe, do all the things. I'd be so grateful. Share it online, share it with friends. Word of mouth is the best form of marketing. And I'd be so grateful if you were like, hey, so I found this podcast and she's a bit crazy, but it's pretty good. We love it. Feel free to do that. I'd be so grateful. Otherwise, I will see you in our next episode. Ciao.